Welcome back to Cultural Appropriation Month.
Yeah.
This fall, 6 cities prepare for 2 rebels with a cause.
Dave, the clock in your car is all wrong. It says it's 1:09.
Yeah. I set it back for daylight savings.
But it's 2:27.
Yeah, I set it back an hour and 18 minutes for daylight savings. That's what you're supposed to do, right?
No, that's not. This is an entire. Everything about this clock is wrong. It's an entirely useless clock.
No, it's totally good. That's what I do with clocks. Like, I set it back just the right amount.
Is that why you missed my twin 6-month birthday?
Maybe.
It's a big one.
I sent a cake. That stripper died.
Yeah.
The Rebels with a Cause comedy tour. Tickets on sale now at louderwithcrowder.com/tour.
That's delicious. Wonderful. I have to adjust the headphones here a little bit because, Dave, thank you for filling in yesterday.
Ahoy. My pleasure, honestly.
Yeah, he's fastest man on his feet before anything else. Yep, we do have the tour, louderwithcrowder.com/tour. We will be hitting Phoenix, Houston.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Charleston, West Virginia.
Ahoy.
Nashville.
Ahoy.
Red Bank, New Jersey.
Ahoy.
Because Manhattan wouldn't have us. And Baltimore.
Ahoy.
And we're going to be adding some shows because some of these are close to sold out. So you can go get your tickets now at louderwithcrowder.com/tour. You got Dave, Gerald A. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm okay. I needed a little bit of rest. The weekend took it out of me.
Colorado was great.
Colorado was fun. And then I came back to the stories that we have to deal with today. Elon Musk's his son is changing. His son is changing her name to spite his dad. Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah.
Ahoy.
Then we have former President Joe Biden denying the likelihood of recession. By the way, even liberal sources say that he's completely wrong. And one thing, look, there are a lot of conspiracies going around right now about the cows dying.
Yeah.
And we need to fact check some of that, both on the left and on the right. My headphones keep going to my left and my right. It's like a John Lennon's Number 9, that self-important crap. Remember that in the White Album?
I try to forget.
Number 9 goes like this if you're listening on audio. Number 9. Number 9. Oh, the best band of all time.
If you play it backwards on a record player, it says, "You're right not to enjoy this."
Yes, exactly. In a very sinister voice, though. Mm-hmm. We'll also be, by the way, today watching live, so you guys can send your comments in on Mug Club regarding the Supreme Court. So if anything happens that we are missing, they could be coming down with some decisions. Oh, is that a comment?
He's just screwing with you again.
I guess let me ask you, while I'm doing that, what have you heard about the dead cows in Kansas? What do you think is going on? Do you think that the ghost of Chavez and Bill Gates are injecting them with microchips, or do you think that maybe some things are being blown out of proportion from both the left and the right? The left wants you to believe climate change, and then it's going to be a calamity, and the right wants you to believe that this is all completely, not the right, but some people want you to believe that this is all completely orchestrated and that it's going to lend itself to the supply shortage. Look, there is a supply shortage coming down the chain. I want to let you know, but it's not because of 2,000 dead cows.
No.
Okay.
Space aliens, though.
So, before any of that, group of old men, I don't know if you saw this, they decided to make their voices heard, as people do now. Sorry, did I say voices? Fists. They fought at Home Depot this week with paint cans and shovels.
Ow! Dang! You could kill somebody. You already paid for it.
It goes back.
This is a weird Dodge versus Ford commercial.
John Reap just drives up. It's a Hemi.
Harry. This is when you go get the 7 Mexicans standing out front and be like, "Hey guys, I need you in my gang."
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
We're going to need some more paint.
Yeah, we pay $15 an hour to put a hit out
Yes.
on somebody.
That's not racist. Have you been to a Home Depot? That's what happens.
That's what it is. I mean, it's almost ancillary.
Yes.
The home furnishings. By the way, here's the best part. All of those men, you watched that, right? You saw that melee. Pretty serious.
Yeah.
Hit in the head with a paint can.
Yes.
Shovel. No one pressed charges. They all declined.
Oh, they're...
That's because they're old. They're old school. They're like, yeah, sometimes you get hit with shovels.
Yeah. The cops come out like, what happened here? I didn't see nothing.
Yeah.
Sometimes a 15.
There's a handprint of white paint on his
Right.
face, and he was like that when I found him.
Yeah.
No, that's
There's
not
a
true.
video though. I don't know about no.
Maybe he'd go get face painting at the mall.
Yeah, people do that. I do that sometimes. I get a tiger painted on
I get
my
little
face.
whiskers.
Yeah,
I get
it's nice.
whiskers. That's what he has.
I'm Meowcat.
Stop wasting my time, bro. By the way, we're a live show Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern. If you're not watching us here on YouTube, if we're not here and you don't see us here, we're still streaming live, of course, on Mug Club.
Yeah.
And I have a full extended segment today with a representative who's threatening to kill rhinos.
Oh, geez. And Rumble. Don't forget the Rumble.
So Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Okay, let's get to Elon Musk here. This is what everyone is talking about this morning. You follow this story?
yeah.
I did, yeah. Well, I took a look into it once I saw that it was in the news today.
So let me ask you, and you guys can comment here below. What do you think is happening here? Do you think this is? Do you think some people got to this this son of Elon's to try and do some damage? Because there are more and more stories coming out where he's talked about the woke mind sickness going to destroy Western civilization because he wants Twitter to be an open platform. I love how when you go look at the leftist news sources, remember that leaked from Project Veritas Zoom call with Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Just like we need to make sure that it's open, that we don't try and drive a narrative like, oh, that's
Free
our job.
speech. Can't leave it to the people.
We can't leave it to the people, you plebes. So his son, Elon Musk's son, Xavier Musk, is now identifying as a girl and filed to change his name to Vivian Jenna Wilson. And of course, look, the LGBTQ plus community is pumped, and they do as they be when it comes to still getting the dollar bills.
And we welcome you to the LGBTQ plus community.
Go Vivian! Woohoo! But don't say bye-bye to your daddy's money, okay? Because it's very expensive to be a girl.
Make sure the stock options transfer over to your correct name because you're going to want a seat at that board here coming up soon.
Belated Happy Father's Day, Poppy.
Keep going strong, and I support you, and I think it's great that you
Fat
have the
Hunter
courage
S.
to stand
Thompson.
up to the tyranny of your very powerful and wealthy father.
What's that, the guy from Wall-E? Meaning all of them?
There's a glasses store that I don't know
It's
about.
very expensive to be a girl unless, you're a girl.
There should be a tax.
Nothing in life is free except what you are born as naturally. That's just something but you have to pay if you want to be a girl because that's how you know that it's real.
The rest of them were just pedophiles.
I'm living my truth. Yes, I lived my $15,000 truth here,
Yeah.
1,000 here, 4,000 here, 6,000 here.
I bought a lot of truth.
I bought a lot of truth.
It's all truth that is really fake.
Yes.
What?
Fake can be true.
There's no way that guy in the Hawaiian shirt was not a pedo.
No,
Oh,
come
no.
on. There's no doubt.
Come on.
Totally grooming, like, hey, welcome.
That little mustache.
I mean, honestly, a part of me respects that he owns it. He just leans right into
He
it.
really did, yeah.
He just drove up in a paneled van that says free puppies in back.
Yeah, it's
Drives a bus for Disney.
just
guarantee
melted
that
chocolate
happens.
all over the back of it because it's summer. It's like, I gotta get air conditioning.
All the dead puppies, too. Jeez.
Come on.
it's not-
If you're going to be a pedo, there needs to be some buy-in. Buy an ice cream truck, you cheap bastard. Now,
I tried.
I tried.
They ask questions.
That's why I want Elon Musk's son/daughter to keep the stock options. So in a document here submitted in California, Xavier, who now identifies as Vivian, said his name change. The reasoning behind it was gender identity and the fact that I no longer live with or wish to be related to my biological father in any way, shape, or form. And the surname Wilson, of course, comes from the mother.
That's, I think, the whole point right there. California. In documents filed in California. We've gotten to the bottom of the root of the problem.
Yep.
You left your son in California, and this is what happens.
Yeah. No Columbo needed.
No, it's there, right in California.
Wonder if he wants his dad's money.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. Keep the money.
Yeah.
Keep the money. Just live your own life. Live your truth. Don't let anybody tell you what to do except, take the money. Just like, with women in alimony.
Yeah. You want to be somebody?
You're a strong, independent woman whose husband pays for all your shit.
Without the access to that cash, though, I would like to see if she would really do this.
Oh, yeah.
Because
cut it off.
Yeah, there's no way. This is just like a bratty sort of thing, I think, in response. I know that they're going to say that's, a phobic.
Yeah, well,
but it's not, though. It's just she has time.
Yeah.
He still, I guess?
He.
Or is it?
They're saying she. I don't care.
When I said cut it off, by the way, I never thought I'd have to clarify. I meant cut the money off, not cut.
Yeah, cut the money off.
Yeah.
Well, just saying, I'm not telling Xavier to go do anything.
Well, no, he's got to add one.
Well,
right. It's a boy becoming a girl.
I thought it was a girl becoming a boy.
No, it's a boy becoming a girl.
Boy to girl.
Xavier to Vivian. It's easy to get confused because it's all
care anymore.
It's all make believe.
I didn't understand. So whatever. I'll be over here.
Not chopping things off.
I just heard the story and it already confused me 3 seconds later. This is the point. They want you confused.
Yes. Just think of penis things. It's the same as having wings.
Yes, there's no difference between.
Think of cockles. Think of puss. All right.
Oh, boy.
So, luckily, Xavier, though, might find a new home at the U.S. women's soccer team.
Oh, good.
Soon to be bankrupt. Sorry. Megan Rapinoe came out in support of transgender athletes in sports in an interview this Sunday. And by the way, that's because she doesn't have to compete in a contact sport with them.
Mm-hmm.
Is she still dating Flava Flav?
Yeah. Rapinoe told Time she's 100% in support of trans athletes. I think people also need to understand that sports is not the most important thing in life, right? That's why you want to be paid exactly the same amount as the men. Life is the most important thing in life. We're talking about kids. We're talking about people's lives. They are committing suicide because they are being told that they are gross and different and evil and sinful, and they can't play sports with their friends that they grew up with. First off, that's not true for a couple of reasons. That the suicide rate doesn't really get any better pre or post transition, and we've gone through these stats many times. 0% grow out of it if you put children on puberty blockers versus anywhere from 87 to 94%, depending on the study that you use, if you just do nothing. By the way, they're killing themselves because people are saying they're gross. Jews in the Holocaust didn't have this kind of a suicide rate. American slaves didn't have this kind of a suicide rate. So just because someone rightfully says that Chaz Bono looks like a douchebag Jersey Shore Guido with a chin-strap beard, I don't think that's why these people are offing themselves in record numbers. Don't allow them to set this narrative of, well, if you don't, they're going to kill themselves. It's just like an abusive boyfriend, just like an abusive husband going, if I kill myself, it's your fault. No, it's not. It is not your fault. It's not the doctor's fault. It's not the chromosome's fault. Megan Rapinoe went on to say, show me the evidence that trans women are taking everyone's scholarships. Oh, there we go. We'll go back to that. Are dominating in every sport, are winning every title. I'm sorry. It's just not happening. No, look. This is one of those reverse nirvana fallacies, okay? That everyone's scholarships, every sport, winning every title. No, look. Of course not. Because this just started yesterday in the realm of human history. But where they have entered sports, women's cycling, women's swimming, they have done they are disproportionately represented at the upper echelons of these sports. So saying that it isn't bad yet, because we haven't done it, therefore let's just try it and see what happens, you could use that for anything. Yeah. You could use that for anything.
Yeah, well, it's the same argument on election stuff. Oh, show me the fraud. It's like, do you wait to protect a bank until there's a robbery? No, you try to limit this thing before it happens. And this comes in response to FINA or whatever it was banning this transgender swimmers after the age of 12. If you transition after age 12, you can't compete in these, Olympics and world sports. So finally, something good happened. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, and this is, I guess, Megan is either commenting on this. I don't know when she said this, but I would not be surprised if that was the reason for it.
Yeah. But she's saying that everybody's going against them, calling them gross. You're being catered to on every level ever.
Right.
Yeah. Everything now is being geared to you.
Right.
Everything is being rolled out for you. Everything. If somebody says anything bad about you, they can be canceled. They can lose their job. Like, you've won. You have the narrative. And don't say it's not happening when you can make it to an Olympic level.
Right.
Like, it may have just happened, but it got as far as sports can go.
Right, exactly. Well, check out the recent Change My Mind. Actually, we'll have if you're watching on YouTube, we'll have a card on this where you can just click a link on this exact topic. We have the numbers, the percentages of people who were trans, who've entered sports, and what percentage they made up of those in the upper tiers of these sports. It's shockingly high. More than black people in speed focused sports. Okay, really? No, that's not.
No,
true. That can't
No.
be true.
Fact check that. Will you admonish
That's
him?
racist. I guess so. If you mean that I'm making a generalized statement on race, yes. Black people hold the land speed records for human beings like 1 through 20.
Why would that be a bad thing, though?
It's not a bad thing, but it's still racist.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, why are you like, yeah, you guys are fast. How dare you?
No, they don't. Black people don't care. It's white people who get mad about it.
It's white suburban women.
It's white suburban bitches who ruin everything right now. You think black women would stand for this crap? You think if you poll black women, you think they're going to go, oh, yeah, we need trans men. They're going to be like, shut up.
I got time.
Don't bring that shit around here.
Come on.
That's a man. You know it's true.
No, it's true. Well,
it's just so honest.
I just want to see some go into football, and if they do, I wouldn't mind an entire trans Detroit Lions team because maybe we'll have a chance.
The trans replacements.
Yeah, just have a chance because people won't be tackling them quite as hard. They're
all homophobic. They just let them run.
Right,
You're like, I don't care. We still got a Super Bowl finally.
No, look, seriously, this is what's going to happen. You're going to have women dominating men's sports. That woman ran a 6.740. Jeez. We don't have a dog in this fight.
No.
Women, white suburban women, you need to start cleaning ranks. Obviously, if you're watching this is not addressed at you, but you need to start. Women need to start because so many women are afraid of speaking up. I can't tell you how many women who say, I came to this show because I was afraid to talk about it, and I finally started realizing that these things affected me, these issues affected me. But how do I discuss it with my friends? You go, hey, shut up! This is absurd. Do you see what's happening?
Yeah.
Do you see what's happening? We can't help this.
Yeah.
We can't fix this for you.
Well, and the point that Megan made in the opening of it is that sports is not everything in life. Life is life. And it's like, that's right. Nobody is guaranteed an opportunity to participate in sports.
Right.
Go do something else. If you can't compete because there's not an open category that allows whoever, come one, come all, to compete, then go do something else. You'll be fine.
I wasn't allowed to play basketball because I dunked too much.
Yep. That's not true at all.
That's because you kept hanging from it and breaking the backboard.
No, it was on my son's little tykes that he kept doing it.
Dave climbed up a ladder, would slam it, and then with his tongue, I'd go, it broke.
Is that Dave in our driveway playing our baby in basketball?
He just swatted my son. Why is he doing that? He's taunting him now.
Why is he playing street ball with Fisher Price? This just...
Your son beats me by 7.
My son just holds his hand in the air as he gets a 3.
I love how it's by 7 because that means that your son got free throws on him.
Exactly.
Which means he clearly fouled
Foul! He calls his own fouls. I'd be careful, Dave.
You got the number.
No, look, and this. By the way, if you're watching right now on YouTube, hit the notification bell because subscriptions don't mean a whole lot. We don't show up in search. We don't show up in browse for most content. Hit the notification bell. It'll let you know whenever we upload content.
Do it. It's important.
Also, Dave and I were in Colorado Springs this week.
Mm-hmm. Yes, great crowd, by the way.
Great crowd. Thank you, Colorado Springs. You probably could use less shrooms before you go to a show, but mostly good. Now,
maybe less ketamine.
Yes.
Even though I guess it's legal because there's just Dr. Ketamine available.
Yeah, they have clinics now where they do
crazy.
it. Yeah, ketamine.
Oh.
It's a whole thing. But there's actually legitimate therapeutic use.
Oh, yeah.
But
I'm not saying there's not.
We, in Colorado, this is a true story. Dave and I and Jeff and Bracken, we were at lunch at the hotel afterward, and this lady came up, would say 70, 72, older
Probably
lady.
About there, yeah.
Yeah, probably about
right in there.
She just came up, and she was very nice. And she said, hey, sorry, just so you know, just my grandson noticed that one of you dropped your room key, hotel room key. And, of course, we looked around. Of course, it was Dave because, he was a slob.
It wasn't me, though.
It was your key.
No, it was Jeff's.
Oh, well, he's a slob, too.
How dare you?
So we go, she goes, yeah, my grandson noticed it. Oh, thank you so much. And you turned and said, well, thank you to your grandson. And you looked, and there was just a girl, and it was around a little bit of a corner. And so then I kind of tilted my head around the corner, and there was another girl.
Yeah. And then I couldn't see that girl, and I kept trying to see if there was one behind the first girl. It's
Right.
like there's something over there that's a boy.
Would you
yes?
say the girls were maybe between 6 and 8 years old, probably?
Generous.
Yeah, that would be so.
Possibly younger. Yeah.
Possibly younger, and it didn't even look like a boy. It was a girl in jean shorts, pink shirt, just her hair tied up, and this lady went out of her way to say grandson. Like we're not going to have a conversation about that. Oh yeah, sure. Oh, the 2 girls, one of them is a boy. Yeah, we got it. Again, it's white women who want to be agreeable to all of this because they think it's compassionate. Could you imagine a black or Latino woman
twice,
coming
right?
up?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, could you imagine a black or Latino? Yes, my grandson. That's a boy. No, they'd be like, hey, stop saying you're a boy.
Yeah.
You're not a boy. You have a pussy, okay?
No.
You're crazy. Being crazy. Think she's a boy. We're going to change. You're going to grow out of it. Kids are crazy.
Statistically, there's a 104% chance you would look over and see a boy.
Right. Yes. It was a black mother.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you're looking at these demographics. Black Americans, Latino, Hispanic Americans, they are becoming more on social issues. They're already inherently more conservative. It's these privileged white suburban women who elect Democrats. They are the only ones who would feel so comfortable saying, and by the way, that includes Megan Rapinoe, whether you're a lesbian or not, saying, oh, my grandson. And I remember we were just sitting there and I was like, I got to say something. You guys said, don't say something. But I was like, I got to say something. But then you guys all pulled me back and I didn't say anything.
Well, I did. Yeah, I didn't understand it because they were both girls in the sense of they had, like you said, pigtails, braids, wearing girls' clothes.
Yeah.
There was nothing about them that was a grandson.
Was she confused? Was this like a
No, she
fight
wasn't
moment?
confused.
No,
She went out of her way to say it several times.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why it was more than once, and I I didn't get it at all.
Right.
And I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh, maybe she's got, but she didn't. She was perfectly fine. That's why she stood up and walked over to a table and said what was happening.
Right.
It wasn't like she was like, Abe Lincoln over there said that you dropped your ring key.
Well, that would have been, I would have believed that more. I'd have been like, well, fine, you see Abe
Well,
Lincoln,
but then the question was answered when we saw her husband.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Him or her?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Really?
Now.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Colorado.
We'll just call it a lot.
We used to love you so.
We'll talk about on Mug Club, too, the crap they tried to pull with the brunch that we weren't allowed to eat.
Yeah, dude, that wasn't cool at all.
I got into a fight with one of them.
I made
Physical fight?
No, what happened is they said you can't. I'll just tell it really quickly,
okay.
and then we'll get into the
real fast.
Okay, here's what happened. They said we're there, we're eating. So it's always a buffet at these hotels, right? So it's breakfast buffet. Then they bring out chocolate cake, and they bring out what looked like, I don't know, some kind of bread pudding.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, but that's only for brunch. And and the thing is, at that point, I just told them, and I said, well, but I already touched it. She goes, okay, we'll take it. And can I have a spatula then? She goes, well, I'll just take it. So I take it. She goes, don't use your hands. That's what kids do. I'm like, well, you could have gotten me a spatula, sweetheart. This one's on you.
Yeah. Yeah, she came out. She's like, the chocolate cake is for brunch. And I'm like, why are you bringing it out now and just teasing me with it?
Yes, exactly.
It's like, why don't you wait till breakfast is over? By the way, isn't breakfast half a lunch?
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
the first part.
Can I get half a slice of the chocolate cake?
Yeah, this is rude.
It was very rude.
It's going to take everything I touch.
But I just touched it. I was like, you know what? I'll take the risk.
Well, nobody's going to eat all of it. They're just going to throw some of it away. Now you're going to argue with me?
Right.
I would have tipped you.
Just pelt homeless people with it.
Yeah.
So,
eat the icing, donate the bottom to
which,
the
by the way, you throw anything in any direction in Colorado Springs, you will hit a homeless person.
Yeah.
They just need to drive the streets with a power washer at midnight. Just problems
There's
solved.
so many methods. It's just like zombie shirtless people walking around in the. Oh man, I hit like 8, 9, 10 with it was a rental.
Yeah.
They're on ketamine. It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like they're importing them. So
it really is a lot. They live in the mountains.
Speaking of which, and I'm not speaking of which, last week 11 people were killed in a cartel shooting in Mexico.
Oh wow.
Now here's the thing in the article: among the dead was very sadly a spider monkey.
Oh,
the animal was characterized as a hitman. This is the article. I think we had to translate it. All references available at loudcrowd.com. He was wearing a ballistic vest, a camouflage fleece jacket, and a diaper. Imagine a human with a flak jacket and a diaper. You're like, that's a bad combination.
Yeah, exactly.
Does not instill confidence. No. SEAL Team 6 with their Depends. You're like, this is not going to go well.
Yeah, right before it's like, look, buddy, whenever the stuff goes down, don't wear this vest. But if it doesn't, you have the diaper.
Yeah,
you can crack
exactly.
yourself in dignity.
If you misgender him, he's going to slit your throat.
Not anymore.
And according to the authorities, the primate ended up with his arms outstretched as if holding the young man who was carrying him. The Mexican prosecutor's office also confirmed his death. He was, protecting his homie. When asked for comment, of course, the monkey was shot. And they found out who did it. When asked for comment, his notorious rival Marbles responded, "Talk shit, get shot, fam." And that seems like, well, you know.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
Now, here's the thing. Cartel monkeys would be bad enough, but some gangs now are actually recruiting Bengal tigers.
How?
Well, you'll see a clip. This was found in the street of a city in Mexico this last week.
That's when you run. Oh my gosh! What the heck?
No, it's his tiger.
I was like, you kidding me?
Sorry, guys. Just training for the hit. Wow, that is amazing.
This isn't an off-leash zone?
There's leash laws, pal.
I mean,
Mexico.
Think about it. There are people in this studio who are afraid of this guy.
It's unbelievable to me. If I saw an animal like that walking around, like worst fear, being eaten alive.
Oh, that's not my worst
fear. Outside of being sent to jail, wrongly sent to jail, and convicted of something.
That's mine.
Right? That's 1A, 1B.
Or abandonment.
I'll be honest. This
I'm climbing a
happens
tree.
in Detroit at least once a year. I'm not even joking.
Well, they have packs of roaming wild dogs in Detroit.
Yeah, but there will be a tiger that just escapes a drug dealer's basement, and it's like, how do you get a tiger? But you can.
You trank it.
I just thought you meant it was like one of your baseball players escapes a drug dealer's basement.
Well, that too. Sometimes they don't.
Yeah,
Those tigers are harmless.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not going to hurt anything.
Not going to hurt anything.
Yeah, even if you put a bat in their hand, they're just going to miss. So, look, this is funny. What's funny to me is we bitch about, after, what was it, Tiger King, complain about animal cruelty here in the United States. It's just like when we talk about energy policies. You have Greta Thunberg coming and berating the United States when they don't talk about what's going on in India. They don't talk about what's going on in China. Animal cruelty is not even something that computes in a lot of these countries where we all have to act as though they have beautiful cultures that are equal to that of modern Western civilization. Hey, you know what? If you feel that way, then PETA, support this. Support the use of gang tigers.
I kind of support it.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it'd be fun to watch.
It's a serious flex.
Yeah.
It's an expensive
Like, you
flex.
think a monkey's bad? Although I do think a monkey is pretty good, too.
Yeah.
Well, and
like
a flak
this?
jacket and a diaper. I mean, come on.
How do you even get how do you get the vest, though? You're like, do you have anything that would fit, I don't know, like Spider Monkey?
Yeah.
Or
The
like
guy's
a really
yeah.
small child.
Do you have the chest measurements? Yeah, 4.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, they have like an animal section. They're like, what do you got?
realize they
You
had
got a
that
panda? You got a koala there?
Yep.
It's a little too big. Do you have something a little small?
Koala King.
Imagine bringing those things to Michael Vick's house. He just thinks he's badass. But, oh, yeah, okay. Try drowning this in a bathtub.
Yeah,
I brought Shere Khan, bitch.
There's just a monkey walking around in a bulletproof vest and a diaper.
He owns the place.
Yeah.
Bitch slaps Michael Vick. Give me a coffee.
Yeah. Michael Vick's just he goes to the store real quick, comes back with just a bunch of bananas. He's like, here, sir.
Here you go.
I'm so sorry.
Monkey's just sitting there like King Louis. Okay.
A quick breaking news update. Twitter's board unanimously approved Elon Musk's $44 billion takeover bid.
Oh, can we hit this? Do we have celebration on the soundboard?
No. We can probably get it.
Son of a bitch, Yakuza. You don't even have the...
They approved it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the deal's going to go through, because if they can't prove the bot number, then Musk will probably...
Yeah, they're waiting on shareholders.
Yeah. So it's still some time before the celebration can officially...
It's one more step in the right direction.
It is.
You know what he should do? Is he should take over Twitter and immediately ban his son.
That's a good thing. My dad blocked me.
Yeah.
Well, just block his son's new name. If that person's...
Just block Vivian.
Yeah.
So that he has to tweet as Xavier.
Musk.
He makes a profile of his daughter just saying all the things that he wishes she would still say.
Joe Lewis, hey, go back, buddy. Go back. No one's out there to watch you today. You got to be in studio. He only likes to be in here for 20 minutes. All right, this brings us to former Vice President Joe Biden. Here's something that happened. There are a lot of words you can use to describe the United States of America.
Yeah.
Beautiful words.
Beautiful.
Joe Biden's description might be, credit where it's due, the most patriotic yet.
Really?
That brings us to This Week in Biden.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him...
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Of all the times for my words to leave me.
You mean all the times his words do leave him?
Well, he's like, he used them all up. You can describe him there. I'm done.
Yeah.
He usually flubs setups like that, though.
He does.
That's what's the best.
I love how at The View they're going, Trump's no spring chicken either. He's 70. He's going to be 77. Biden's 81, but Biden works out every day. We're not so much concerned with his fickle liver-spotted feet as we are his brain.
Oh, yeah? Does he go biking? Is that what he does?
Yeah, he does. He goes biking.
You see Trump, he's like, hey, I hope he gets better. No, really. And by the way, I'll never ride a bike.
I would never ride a bike, folks.
I make that.
Doesn't matter how many gears. A lot of people tell me that more gears in the bike makes a better bike. I would never ride a bike because, frankly, I'm an adult, folks.
He had a fixie, a 10-speed, an 18-speed.
He had a 10-speed, but his mine only had 1 speed. His mine's a fixie. Like a BMX with no tricks.
He's so funny.
That's not the only really dumb thing that former Vice President Biden has said here. And this is one thing, too. I want to ask you guys, what do you think is the likelihood of a serious recession? And what are you doing? You don't need me to say comment. I mean, he's always going to say comment. Like, it has to be so on the nose with him.
Yeah, I feel like this is a bit of a game now within the
like
show.
Mr. Bean. Like, he has to be like, so like, comment, Teddy. So, you think there's going to be a recession, and what are you doing to prepare for it? Have you saved? Have you tried to be frugal? What are your employment options look like? How about your family? Because it might be time to start thinking of those, those realities. But here is the former vice president denying, angrily, by the way, which is of course a sign of dementia, unrelated because we're on YouTube, the likelihood of any sort of a recession.
I promise.
Recession's even more likely than ever.
Not the majority of them aren't saying that. Come on, don't make things up, okay? Now you sound like a Republican politician. I'm joking. That was a joke.
That wasn't a joke.
But all kidding aside, no, I don't think it is.
All kidding aside?
It's not joking, Joe.
Wow,
People's
he
lives
really
are changing badly.
Really reversed on that quickly, didn't he?
He really, you know how he's lying is he's just so simple-minded. He says the opposite. So, for example, he goes, "That's not a joke." That means that it's not true.
Yes.
And he says, "It's just so." All kidding aside, it means that it was true.
Yes.
Yeah. Come on, it's not more. Somebody whispered.
Your mother's a filthy skank.
Huh?
All kidding aside.
Joking.
Hey, Putin actually called me and said that he was gonna take a JetBlue flight to Florida and drop a bomb. It's not a joke. Like that's just not a joke. It's just untrue. Come on.
You lied.
By the way, are the 70% of economists predicting a recession also just Republican politicians?
Oops.
All references available at louderwithcrowder.com. Just
Who's
to be clear.
the 30?
Yeah.
Well,
I'd like to meet them where they're just like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Like the worst
A lot of
economists
things
ever.
could happen.
Yeah, this thing. I got Bitcoin.
Yeah, I have no idea what could things. There are too many variables that can't be quantified. And isn't this your job? I don't like doing it. Nah.
I want to go to the store and pay $5 for eggs.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's not weird.
Gonna help. Oh no, don't worry. I think the 30 were banking on the fact that the housing market being red hot is going to soften the blow. I'm not even kidding. That was written into the article, and as I was reading, I'm like, yeah, because everybody wants to buy overpriced houses when the interest rate is 10%.
Right.
That's going to do wonders.
People were buying them when it was 2%.
Yes.
But yes, now that you've inflated
About
it, it's
7
like,
now.
who's like, I want to lose everything.
And here's the thing. I've been watching CNN
loss?
this morning. They didn't talk about the 70% of economists.
Oh, no.
Think of all the fact checks that took place with President Donald Trump. Things like, when I played, I was 2 under par. They go, actually, that's not true. That was a lie. Whereas he says, what are you, Republican? We're nowhere near a recession. 70% of economists. If they could find one economist under Donald Trump, one economist who said that the economy wasn't going well while we were all living it, knowing that it was going well, they would have that person doing the circuit. We know it. And that's the value, I will say right now. You have 8 years of former Vice President Biden with Barack Obama. Then he had 3 with Donald Trump. I don't count the lost year. And now you're going to have another 4 of Biden. Guess what? That is a contrast that if you play your cards right, meaning everyone out there, that's why we do the Change My Mind. That's why we do the talking with people on the street. You need to have these conversations with people because people are living in the same world you are. You just need to remove the blinders that the media and big tech tries to put on their eyes. When you do, guess what? The house of cards comes tumbling down. The approval ratings are shockingly bad for Biden. Now, look, polls do not dictate what is morally correct when we're dealing with policy. If a poll says people don't think you should be able to own a firearm, that's irrelevant. Polling, as it relates to performance of former vice presidents, it's a value. It's not the only data that you include, but it's important. Here's the thing: it doesn't tell the full story. If you look at the Quinnipiac poll, it's the reliably Democratic demographics. It's his base. Look, Donald Trump, former Vice President Joe Biden, he's polling at 24% with Hispanics.
Wow.
49% with blacks. 22% among 18 to 34. 22% among 18 to 34. And by the way, that split, a big part of it has to do with the fact that, a much higher percentage of women would approve. So if you look at men under the ages of 18 and 34, that doesn't happen.
No.
That doesn't happen. Here's the thing, and I've always said this: you can't really expect to win the youth vote. Conservatives, for people who don't pay taxes, people who aren't really contributing at that point. You can only expect to plant the seed so that as they go out into the real world and they get hit with reality, they start thinking through these issues more critically. This has outpunted the coverage that I've tried to provide here. They're already losing. The left is already losing teenagers and people in their 20s. I don't think that's happened ever.
I'm most surprised by the black number, and that was the highest number, 49% among blacks. I'm like, wow, if you lose that, Democrats, they've been a very reliably, and Donald Trump started to kind of chip away at that.
Yeah.
And that was great. All he had to do was move the needle just a little bit, but that is a horribly low number. Watch what they do, though. So all they have to do is talk their way through the midterms. Because most of the economists surveyed in that article said that the recession would not officially be declared until next year sometime.
Right.
Most people thought in the first 2 quarters, because you have to have a couple of quarters of.
You'll be living it for half a year before they declare it.
Say,
exactly.
That's
good.
exactly
You're moving
what
into
they'll
your
say.
cardboard house before you get the news.
Right.
So what they'll say on every show on Sunday morning on every news channel is say we're not actually in a recession. Republicans, the GOP are lying to you. They're fear mongering for the election.
There'll be another COVID wave.
Officially happened yet?
Right.
Right. That's it. That's all it is.
Yeah. No, you paying $19 for 4 ounces of chuck roast is just a figment of your imagination. They're not declaring a recession yet. $5 gas, they're not declaring a recession yet. When you look at the job market, they're trying to say, we have the highest job. No, people don't want to work. That's also a really big problem.
Yeah.
Look, the 15, remember when it was fight for 15? That's irrelevant now. It's irrelevant because 15, anyone can go out and get a $15 an hour job.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything. You need 20 an hour, a lot of people would argue now. Now they're pushing for 25 an hour. And that was the point we always made about the 15 an hour.
Right.
Because artificially determining wages, just like artificially determining suppressing interest rates, creates a bubble. It creates inflation. This is what happens when the government says they're here to help. They can't fix. Why don't we just treat the economy at least? Everyone always watches Jurassic Park, and that movie was terrible, but everyone always loves Jeff Goldblum because of this whole chaos theory where he says life finds a way. Why don't people apply that to the economy and to life at large? Only to dinosaurs? The markets change. There's chaos. You cannot plan every single step.
No, and unintended consequences every single time it happens. Every single one of these boom-bust cycles that we go through can most of the time be traced back to the government getting in the way or the government doing something that makes it way, way, way too cheap to get money, and now people are running out and buying all the homes that they can't afford, and the interest rate resets, and the market crashes, and all of a sudden we're dead. It's just economically speaking.
But the prices don't change. I mean, other than gas.
Well, the blame shifts, right?
So
at first
the blame
it was Putin's
shifts, sure.
price hike at the pump, right? That's what they were doing. Nobody was buying it. The next thing that they did is they said, okay, in Congress, we're going to put a bill through that says that we need to end price gouging by the oil companies. All of the Republicans voted against it because that's not why gas is high. And now they're coming out and saying, see, Republicans, when you see the gas price $105 to fill up your car, blame Republicans. They didn't vote for this bill.
Right.
They're trying to push.
I saw that brought on Bill Maher saying it's actually because they were trying to pay out their shareholders. Well, okay, there's nothing wrong with necessarily paying out shareholders, especially after we were dealing with COVID, the economy, and a recession. But it is in that same breath, she said, and the thing is, people don't understand. The president doesn't control it. It's oil. It's these speculators, and I don't know why Republicans and conservatives aren't mad about the big Wall Street firms. Look. Do you remember the Tea Party? A lot of you watching are young. It started with, I believe it was Rick Santelli was his name, a rant about the Wall Street bailouts. That's why, long before the Occupy homeless bastards set up in Zuccotti Park, where they set up there and they were crapping on cop cars. You had the Tea Party who showed up. We were there where they were protesting the bailouts of all kinds. They weren't just protesting the bailouts of big banks. They were protesting the bailouts of the big automakers. This is something that we have always been on board with. So when someone says, what about the big banks? You say, of course, I don't believe that the big banks should be bailed out either. Boom, done. argument gone.
Yeah, but guess what? Were speculators not there under Donald Trump? Why is it now a problem when it's the speculators? Why is it now a problem when, it's the oil companies they were making money under Trump?
And that is why it's so bad, because it is largely a speculative market. Guess what happens when you have a sitting former vice president who says, I'm going to end fossil fuels, who takes 60 actions within his first few days, or I guess a couple of months in office, including executive orders to stop drilling. What do you think happens in a speculative market? What does that mean? Speculation. When people talk about this, it's these speculators. They're forecasting the future. They're saying, okay, this is how we expect the market to go. That's why it's not necessarily supply and demand with oil. This is a simplified version. I get it. There are a few people out there who are going to be day traders saying, well, that's not exactly it. That gives you a general idea. They're saying, what do we expect to happen with this market? Well, do you think if Martha Stewart can make millions off of insider trading over thread count bed sheets, you don't think that the former vice president has an influence on the oil market when he says, I am going to end it? You can't have it both ways. And by that, I mean leftists, you can't have it any way because you're wrong about all of it.
There's just no proof. When Trump was in office and we were drilling here and gas was $1. Oh, right.
Right. And everything else.
I'm sorry.
And wage increases.
My mistake.
And a general feeling of hope.
But his Twitter, I hated his Twitter.
Yes.
I looked at my IRA last night, lost 40%.
Yes. Oh. Well, only if you sell right now. You'll be fine.
Oh, no, I'm going to hang on to it.
Yeah,
and watch it go to zero.
Yes.
Hey, gold's never been worth zero.
Yeah. They send you a golden bullet once it hits the bottom.
Yeah. You're like, this seems wasteful. You could have just sent me a plain lead bullet. Like, well, we wanted your last one to be special.
Yes, it's like a gold watch when you retire, except you're done.
Enjoy.
It's like your last meal.
Yes.
Only no meal.
But it does go in your mouth.
Yes. So here's something else. Look, we need to call out both sides, however, because sometimes we'll say, why do you just say the left? Well, there are people on the left and there are people on the right who are wrong about this one. You guys have all heard about what's been going on with the cows in Kansas. And if not, comment below. What do you think is happening with the cows? I want you to comment before you watch this segment and then come back to me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be as even-handed as possible. And we actually had Ginger Snap here. Actually, he's from Kansas and called farmers directly. We spoke with them, so we have some exclusive information here, people who are cattle farmers. So late last week, there were reports that came out that 10,000 cows in Kansas had suddenly dropped dead.
It's nice of them to do it all in one place in nice rows.
Yeah. It's like a heat wave burning up my cows.
It's like crop circles with cows.
Right. Totally normal.
Okay, so here's the thing. You have the news outlets, and I understand this because they blame everything on climate change, right? They could just say this is an intense heat wave, end it at that.
Right.
But then when they say it's intense heat wave, climate change, it forces people to go, wait, hold on a second. I remember the carbon tax. Hold on a second. Yeah. I remember the carbon offsets. Hold on a second. Gas prices. Okay, you're pushing the climate change thing. I'm going to start being a little bit skeptical. So I understand the rebound effect. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the conspiracies are true either. There can be a heat wave and it not be indicative of some major cataclysmic climate change. So a lot of blue check marks on Twitter don't want to believe that the heat was to blame. So John Cardillo, he's a blue check mark, has a few 100,000 followers, says, I know cattle ranchers in Florida, Texas, Arizona, California, and a ton of other very hot places. Absolute BS that those cattle in Kansas died of heat stress. Combine that with all these food plants mysteriously combusting. The globalists are definitely up to something. Now, look, I understand why people are reacting skeptically. You also need to do your due diligence. By the way, can we have them send, they were looking for the official number of cows that have died. I know, from what I understand, it's around 2,000. Here's Ivory Hecker.
It is 2,000.
Who was a journalist who I guess worked at Fox News for a period of time. 120,000 followers. Does not mean that this person is wrong about everything or that there's ill intent, but posted this video, which is not entirely accurate.
NBC News reports more than 2,000 cattle abruptly died in southwest Kansas in the past few days. As you can see in this video, lines of dead cattle in a field. The outlet that published this video said it was up to 10,000 cattle that died. Across the board, media outlets are blaming the heat for this death. But if you look at temperatures over the years, actually every summer, temperatures get to about that level that they got to when these cattle died. So it's very common for those temperatures to happen And we haven't heard of mass cattle deaths in the past. So what really happened? What really happened? Well, we're going to explore that on my YouTube. You know, one of the first journalists I ever met told me, follow the money. So we're going to ask some questions.
Oh, boy.
This is one of those things. It's sort of like the Jesse Ventura when people don't have answers.
Yeah.
They're just like,
Listen, I want to know what happened at 9/11 at Tower 7.
well, what are you saying? Are you saying that George W. Bush was behind it with an Acme plunger?
I'm just asking questions. I just want to know about the facts that matter, like fluoride in your tap.
Yeah.
What about it?
I'm asking questions using my pineal gland.
I'm off the grid. Watch my show on the grid.
Yes.
Such a moron.
Well, doesn't this, don't that cut out the middleman? Like, you don't have to line them up and punch them in the face with a metal rod and then process them? Can't you just be like, all right, well, I guess I'm taking the day off. Hey,
no,
processors. I know, I'm kidding.
Native Americans, that's what they, the peaceful, loving Native Americans, they just, if they needed to eat one buffalo, they were like, oh, there's a cliff. Let's chase all of them off of it.
And we'll take one.
That's it.
The birds must love us.
They almost hunted them to extinction. Peace-loving horseback culture.
Did they all die in perfect squares?
Yes. So here's the thing. Follow the money. I'm not seeing a lot of answers on following the money, but I will give you some definitive answers as far as if you were talking about disrupting the food chain. Look, you're talking about almost 4 million cows who die naturally here. We'll get to these causes, and we'll get to how many are butchered throughout the year. 2,000 is not the kind of number that would cause a supply chain issues, which we are running into. Here's the thing. My point is this. There are issues that you need to worry about, and there are supply chain issues. Creating a conspiracy, and maybe there's some foul play we don't know about, but the data doesn't suggest that at this point, and it certainly doesn't suggest that it's anywhere near as significant as the policy changes that we've been seeing that have been creating inflation and supply chain issues. So vets have been pushing back against these conspiracies, and by the way, not left-leaning vets. Just to be clear, here's Dr. Nels Lindberg, animal consultant vet, explaining the phenomenon that it's not just a heat wave, and it's not climate change either.
Sometimes conditions get so extreme, it doesn't matter how hard producers prepare the environment, the operation, the animals.
Dr. Nels Lindberg is a veterinarian who consults with feedlots around Kansas. He wants people to understand a video showing dead cattle in southwest Kansas in the Ulysses area was caused by a heat stress event.
The perfect storm is we had a rain event, actually several days of rain, created some high humidity in a typically very arid environment.
Followed by a sharp spike in temperatures to 100 degrees plus with that extreme humidity and no wind, it created conditions that overwhelmed. Dr. Nels also says overnight temperatures didn't help.
Nighttime lows that didn't get very low, and that's when cattle and animals are able to dissipate that thermal heat load from the previous day. And when they can't dissipate that thermal heat load, then it just continues to build.
Now, I want to get some exclusive info that we have here. Actually, Ginger Snap called some of the farmers that he knew in Kansas. Here's my point. We can't all acknowledge that the Fed, for example, we can't all acknowledge that centralized government screws up all the time by not being able to plan things correctly. Centralized planning never works, and then believe a conspiracy where they get it perfect with these kinds of events that would require massive cover-ups, that it be pulled off to perfection. That's the only point that I'm making. I think you need to look critically on both sides of this issue. So Kansas farmers exclusively spoke with us, backing up what Dr. Lindberg said. Here's a conservative farmer from Kansas who wished to stay anonymous. Is it Haviland, Kansas? Anyway. Haviland. Told us that the issue was clearly the cause. He said, and this is a quote, "It was legit. Temps over 105 most of the day, and it didn't cool down at all at night. Maybe got to 90 degrees. You've seen the big feed yards out there, thousands of head in a dirt corral with limited water access, no trees, just heat. It was just the perfect storm, honestly." And when addressing conspiracies, this farmer said, there's way too many of us good old boys out here, meaning conservative farmers in Kansas. Way too many of us good old boys out here that if something fishy happened, we would be alerting the media. Now, let's keep this in context, too. Each year, there are more than 33 million cattle slaughtered in the United States, and almost 3.9 million cattle, they're lost per year to predator, non-predator causes, right? Over 419,000 to weather alone, just to be clear. So this is something that we need to, if we're talking about 2,000, let's believe the conspiracy, 10,000. If people were conspiring to disrupt the supply chain, this isn't something that they would do. Hey, you know what they would do? They would lobby the government to print more money.
Yeah.
Give another $40 billion to Ukraine. Give another $350 million to illegal immigrants. Those are the issues that are significant. I'm sorry, I'm just not buying it when it comes to 2,000 cows. I'll use the generous number that is unsubstantiated of 10,000 when you have 420,000 to weather alone every year, 4 million to natural causes that can't be slaughtered. It is a drop in the bucket. And I just don't want people taking their eye off the prize, going out and having conversations. I don't want you going out and having conversations with other people where you sound completely unhinged, where you go, it's actually about microchips and the cows and these. That's not why the prices are going up. If you actually educate them on why we are dealing with hyperinflation, guess what? It's impossible to argue. They go, yeah, yep, I'm living it. It makes sense. But if you go, and the cows, and the it's like, okay, and then you lose them.
Right. It's all Bill Gates and his synthetic beef.
And Bill Gates is a piece of shit. Don't get me wrong.
Synthetic beef.
Yeah. I do think that Bill Gates wants us all eating.
No, I definitely do. But this
crickets
is not
and
evidence.
plants.
Yeah, this is not evidence of that. And by the way, the first guy saying, "I know cattle farmers in Texas, blah blah blah, all these other places." Well, listen, these cows don't deal with this kind of a swing. We are having a heat spike right now. By the way, they use the global warming for that. You remember last year when we had kind of a cooler summer in Texas? They were like, it's global warming causing unseasonably cool weather. This is good. I like it.
It was global warming, then it was climate change, and then it's climate variation. Son of can you just kill yourself? Can you do that now?
What does climate change identify as now?
Well, it depends.
What are the pronouns?
Climate Xavier change.
That doesn't make any sense anymore.
So, anyways, this is just most likely not what's actually affecting the supply chain.
Guys, I got to be honest. I killed them cows.
Oh, why?
Well,
it made me feel good.
We also are not addressing the fact that about 8,000 cows per year are lost to tipping.
I tipped them all. Yeah, I tipped them all. They were all in squares, and I was like,
he hates cows. He tips them. I love them. I give him good stock tips.
I was like, I'm going to eat y'all.
I go, look, you want to put it all in fair life.
I was like, move.
So even though people in Kansas have been very clear on what happened, former Vice President Joe Biden, did he want to address the situation himself? Unfortunately, the conference, it didn't air. We managed to get behind-the-scenes footage of him exclusively talking about what happened.
You see what's happening with the cows? Come on. Putin's taking out the cows. We need to get a vaccine. It's not a joke.
Sir, we're talking about cows in Kansas, not Russia.
They were in Kansas, but we're not in Kansas anymore. And you were there. And you were there too, and you were all there.
Sir, please get back on message. Cows are dying in Kansas. The farmers are concerned.
Cows fallen, but we also don't have cereal for the cows. Tricks are for kids transitioning.
Oh my goodness, you are an absolute moron. I quit.
That seems to be a lot of that going around. Must be that heat wave. Hey, look, share the show right now if you're here on YouTube because that helps the algorithm. Dave is going to be doing a solo show in Columbus, Ohio, July 15th through the 16th. And if you check out Spokane Comedy Club, I'll be there this summer. We just added another show, 6 shows. So we love you. We're going to Mug Club. What are we talking about at Mug Club again? Is it the Missouri Senate candidate who basically threatens to assassinate his rival.
He wants to hunt rhinos.
Don't do
it. It's a pretty rough one. Look, I get it. I hate rhinos as much as the next guy.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Or hippos, if we're talking about the fat pride stuff.
That's just the point is. It's a hippo with devil horns.
Exactly. That's all it is.
On its nose.
And a really crappy villain in Spider-Man. But this is just... You'll get to see this ad. It's not something... I don't even know if we can run it on YouTube because it was censored on Facebook, which I don't think it should be. But YouTube, we love you, but we don't. Piss off.